That's a story.
Right?
Yeah, right?
And I could be lying. I could be thinking of some other case.
You're probably talking shit, but I love the way it sounds.
Right? That's what people like about me. Am I telling you the truth? I really don't even know. But I can deliver it sometimes.
Okay, so. I've got Lawrence Singleton and the attempted murder of Mary Vincent. I don't really have much on Lawrence besides he was born in Tampa, Florida in the 1927, July 28th, 1927. And he worked as a merchant seaman in California, which seems like a pretty boring job.
I'm going to be honest, I don't even know what that means.
You just hang out on a ship. It's those huge cargo ships that just take those big metal crates.
That's some people's
of
dream.
Stuff from one place to another. You're stuck on a ship. But that may have been for the best. He probably should have just stayed away from people. So.
Whoops. I hit my microphone.
Okay. It's September 29th, 1978. Mary Vincent is hitchhiking to Berkeley, California from Nevada because her parents worked in, the casinos in Las Vegas. And she was like, it's the 70s. Mm-hmm. I don't want to live my life here. This stinks. Where do you go in the 70s?
You go to Southern California.
You go to California.
And you do hitchhike there. That's right.
Yeah. Now, I found a whole lot of information that was different in every single source.
Interesting.
So I found some stories that sounded really good. Mm-hmm. Other stories that just sounded like, why did this story even start if this was the case? It seemed so stupid.
Tell the good stories then.
I mean, I kind of stripped it down.
Okay.
To Singleton picks up Mary. She's only 15 years old.
That sounds right. Sure.
So one of the stories started that Mary was with her boyfriend and Lawrence stopped and he was like, I only have room for one passenger. But he was driving a van and it was empty. It was just him. I've
not heard that version. I thought she was traveling alone.
Yeah. So
I could be wrong, though.
I'm just going to go with she was traveling alone. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Singleton picks up Mary Vincent and she just dozes off. I don't know how you get into a stranger's vehicle and you end up just going to sleep.
It's the 70s. You trust everyone.
Pretty much. So she came to and she realized that they were heading in the wrong direction. So she starts freaking out and she's like, we're going the wrong way. You missed an important turn off, apparently. And he's like, all right, calm down. I just wasn't paying attention. So I guess he turns around and they start going the right way again. She dozes off again.
Smart.
And he's like, I need to pull over because I need to pee, which is fair.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't wait until we get to the next rest stop. So she's like, fine. He gets out to pee. She follows because she needs some fresh air. Well, somehow he sneaks up on her and knocks her out. I saw in certain places that it was with a sledgehammer, but I find that hard to believe. I feel like you just fucking kill someone.
That's fair. I feel like the story I've heard is that he did hit her with a sledgehammer, but I've never I didn't stop to think about it,
Well, you have to. I mean,
no, I didn't.
If someone hits you with a regular hammer, I'm assuming it was over the head to knock them out.
Well,
you could very easily kill someone with just a regular hammer.
Maybe it was a gentle tap.
Have you ever held a sledgehammer?
Probably not.
Okay. Anyways, things just kept going downhill for Mary because she was tied up, thrown into the back of the van, and raped repeatedly pretty much all night. So then he stops the vehicle. This is later on down the road.
Okay.
Literally just down the road.
Sure.
Pulls her out of the van. She's laying on the side of the road, and he proceeds to start hacking off her arms, just above the forearm area. So she's bleeding out. He's assuming that she's going to die. So he takes her down a cliff. It's about 30 feet. I saw some places where he just left her. Some sources were he just kind of rolled her down the hill and was like, she's going to die. I'm just going to leave. Another source was she got stuffed into a sewer pipe. That way no one would see her.
Weird.
So I don't know.
I think I've heard a different version then too, if those are what you've heard.
Really?
But maybe I'm getting too ahead of myself, so I'll let you keep talking. And then
Okay.
if you don't tell what I think I heard, I'm going to share it anyways, because it makes the story more interesting, even if it's a lie.
That's fair. All right. So anyways, she's in a ditch, a large ditch, regardless of how it happens. And he drives off. She does not die. She's bleeding out and she's naked. So what do you do to stop the bleeding on your stumpy arms that are left? You just ram them into the mud.
Sure. Okay.
You know?
So no, you didn't go too far. What I've heard is that she willingly like went down the cliff to get away from him, but like while he like hacked off one arm and she tried to fight back with the other and like had a grip on his shoulder or something, and then he like went for the other arm, but then her hand grip was still holding on to him. I don't know the validity of that story. That was just what I heard. I think it was like based on the story. It might have been like in one of those TV shows where.
Okay. I mean, like it would make for a good picture. I can see like the arms,
like
still...
a reenactment. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I might just be talking horse shit. Who knows?
Okay.
But just imagine that.
Okay, so now she got up to her feet. Her stumps are all muddy and bloody, and she's still naked. I just imagine she just looks like a horror show right now. And from some of the sources that I saw, she climbed up out of the ditch that she was in, and she's walking down the road, and she actually encounters people that just look at her and they're like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was both of our thoughts. Polite.
So about 3 miles down the road, she finally finds some people that give a shit, I guess. And they take her to the hospital. So
what would you do?
I don't know.
I assume it's 2020 and I have a cell phone and I can just call the police.
I would probably just stop and I would just be like, let's get you some help. I probably wouldn't be like, get in my car.
Right. Well, I don't want to. It's going to sound insensitive to say that I don't want to clean up that mess.
Yeah, you're not going to get that out. All that mud and blood and I don't know.
Also, though, I had almost at my like parents' house when I still lived with them, a guy stopped along the side of the road in winter one time, clearly with a broken down car or something, and he was trying to flag me down. And I was like, no, fuck politeness. You're a man. You're dangerous. I'm going to keep driving. And then I told my dad, and my dad's like, that's fine. You shouldn't stop for men. That's not your problem. I'm like, thank you, Dad. But at the same time, one time when I got my car stuck in winter, I willingly got in some strange man's truck, and he was going to drive me home.
Okay. That's pretty dangerous.
I survived.
This time.
Turned out, though, that where my car was, they told me I couldn't keep it there. I was like, no, thanks for the offer, but I'm going to just stick with my car until I can figure it out, because they're going to tow me in, 10 feet deep snow.
Yeah.
That's an exaggeration, but... All right, I'll shut up.
I never would have guessed that that's an exaggeration. 10 feet of snow? Mm-hmm. We don't live in, I don't know.
Basically
Does Alaska
happens
even
here.
have 10 feet of snow?
I don't know. I've never been there.
I don't fucking think so.
They could.
Anywho, in the hospital or out of the hospital, I'm not exactly sure. She ends up giving a detailed description of Lawrence to a sketch artist, which was pretty much everywhere. And then he was recognized by one of his neighbors and arrested. It was pretty uneventful the way that went down. So he was sentenced to 14 years in prison, which was the max allowed by California law at the time. The judge, though, that was over the case was like, if I had the power, I'd send him away for the rest of his natural life. But he wasn't allowed to do that.
Isn't it? I'm interrupting, but isn't it kind of because he didn't actually murder her because she survived, even though clearly intent was probably to murder?
Maybe. I don't know.
I could, again, just be talking.
I think California laws were kind of just pulled back at the time because later on there is a law passed because of him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was getting there.
And I said I'm interrupting.
Unbelievable. Okay.
Probably won't be the last time.
Now, this is a part that I don't really understand because there was a civil judgment that Mary Vincent won against him for $2.5 million. But she never got paid for it because he was like unemployed, in poor health, and said he only had like $200 to his name. I don't understand how
I don't know.
any of that works. Maybe it's one of those things where, like, if you are working, your pay slowly gets docked over time until it's paid out. It doesn't have to be like all up front. I don't know.
Sure, but I don't know either.
Okay.
Like, go to prison for 14 years, but you owe this girl like $200 million. Figure it out.
$200 million?
What did you, 2 million? Sorry.
2.5.
I rounded up.
Okay. So we're actually going to be rounding down because he was paroled after only 8 years in prison. Good behavior, bud.
Well, there's probably less opportunity to hacksaw people's arms off.
Yeah. He was a teaching assistant, too. He was a good boy.
Okay.
But, okay, so he was paroled to, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but Contra Costa County, California.
Sure.
Whatever. Except anywhere he tried to go, there were protests. Imagine, people didn't want this guy around. So he ended up having to stay on a trailer on the grounds of the San Quentin State Prison for the rest of his time on
Freedom,
parole.
baby.
Yeah, so he just lived in a single wide trailer on prison ground.
Sounds nice.
Like a real fucking boss. So he had this weird problem where everything that he did wrong, he would twist it around in his head and make himself believe that he did nothing wrong.
Okay.
So the entire time he was on trial, he legitimately didn't understand why he was in trouble. I don't know how you do
some
that.
form of personality disorder.
Yeah, and I don't know what that is. I was hoping you could shed some light on it, but I guess not.
No, I'm not like a licensed psychologist. My goodness. Just because I read a few textbooks.
Okay, whatever. All right. So, on that subject, the county prosecutor at Singleton's trial says, this is a quote, "He has not taken responsibility. He lives in a bizarre fantasy land and acquits himself each day. He doesn't accept his guilt and won't resolve never to do it again." That last part's a little hard to say, but pretty much he just doesn't get it. And you'll see that later too. So shortly after this is whenever the Singleton bill was introduced, which introduced a 25 years to life sentence in California. So I think there was so much uproar over his release, and the fact that he wasn't just put away for life to begin with was just crazy. Oh, I also, Mary Vincent was at the trial. She kind of seems like a badass, but he finished his parole up and he moved back to Florida and he's living with his brother. But in 1990, he was convicted of theft twice for, get this, a $10 disposable camera and a $3 hat.
Huh. Interesting.
So that landed him 60 days and 2 years for each of those, respectively. In the spring of 1997, Singleton would go on to murder another woman, and it was a sex worker this time, Roxanne Hayes. He was a lonely, depressed 70-year-old man, and he was like, "Why don't you come over to my place?" And she's like, "I need to, feed my kids."
Sure. So
the police found the body stabbed multiple times in like the upper body area and her face.
Ew.
Now, Singleton's testimony in this case was that they were struggling with the knife and she accidentally stabbed herself multiple times.
In the face.
In the stomach, the chest, and the face. He claims...
Seems unlikely.
Yeah. He claims that after they were done, they were both naked in his living room.
Okay.
And he paid her and then went to get her a $10 bill for a cab ride because he's a gentleman. Just don't look at me like that.
I'm just thinking.
So he goes for his wallet. He's handing her money and she reaches for his wallet, apparently.
Okay.
He goes to grab it back and she grabs the knife laying on the table conveniently. That was there because Who doesn't just sit on the couch and have vegetables on their coffee table and they're just cutting it up while they watch TV?
Don't tell me how to live my life.
So yeah, they he kept trying to get this knife away from her, and she stabbed herself multiple times.
I don't think so.
He never did it. And then he goes on to say that after she realizes that she got stabbed, I don't know how you don't realize it.
Adrenaline.
She's like, hold me.
No.
So they lay down on the couch.
No.
Like he's embracing her right now. I don't know why I'm doing like the arm thing. But
I'm just picturing a man holding a dead body.
Yeah, well,
dying body.
Yeah, dying.
Okay.
And then he's like, we need to get you to a hospital. Because, he's a good guy. He doesn't want her to die. He's
I'll pay the cab to take you to the hospital.
He's like petting her. He's like, we need to get you to a hospital. I can't have you be dying on me. So they get up and try and walk. Shocker, she collapses and fucking dies.
Well, go figure.
Now, again, Mary Vincent flies all the way from California to Florida to testify against him. He was sentenced to death this time. Except anticlimactic ending. He dies of cancer before anything can happen.
They always do. How unsatisfying.
In 2001, he just
Not that I
shits the
am
bed.
necessarily for or against the death penalty. That's a loaded question. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else can think about that. But they got it in Florida. And then this old man's just like, I'll beat you to it.
Yeah.
Probably save the taxpayers some money.
A little bit?
I think that's how that works, right?
I guess so. I mean...
I think the people pay for that stuff.
You mean the death penalty? Or treatment?
No, the death penalty.
Oh, yeah, they pay for it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. See? I'm learning.
I don't think they have it now, though.
In Florida?
I think there's only... I know Texas still has it.
I feel like Florida has to have it. That's where all the weird stuff happens.
I mean,
looking it up. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I don't know if it's...
They still have it in Florida.
Okay. So they still have... I mean, this was in 2001. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess it was a while ago. It was 19 years ago.
That's about as old as I am.
I don't like this thought.
Yeah, how does that make you feel old? It doesn't make me feel old yet.
Oh, no. Yeah, I really don't like
I'm
that.
glad we're having this moment.
This fucking sucks. I don't like it at all. Okay, anyways.
Wait.
What?
Were you born in the 80s? Okay, that answers my question.
89. Okay?
You can't round that one up to 90.
89.
I was basically born in 2001 when this happened.
Don't
No.
even. Okay.
No, I'm a millennial.
I don't
Just made the cutoff.
I don't like this.
I do.
Whatever. All right. Now the way Lawrence tells his story about Roxanne Hayes, he was like, he painted the picture as he didn't want her to die. So
He just wanted to stab her a little bit.
just a little bit, a couple of times. It never hurt anyone. Do you think when it came to Mary Vincent, do you think it was premeditated? Do you think he got up and he's like, I'm going to try and find a hitchhiker and kill them? Or
I don't know. I guess I've never thought about that. Based off this version of the story I know, I guess there's room for some storytelling with it.
Yeah, just a little bit.
You would think he must be screwed up a bit if he just had available tools. What kind of line of work was he in? I don't...
Well, he was that merchant marine.
Oh, right. Is that, though, something you would be, hacksaw-like tools in your van while you're driving around?
It's not uncommon to have some... if you have a van or, a truck, it's not uncommon to have certain tools. Because from what I understand is he cut her arms off with, a hatchet.
Oh, okay, a hatchet.
So it seems fairly
sounds right.
reasonable to have a hatchet.
That seems a
in your
little
vehicle?
more believable for some reason compared to a hacksaw.
Now, a sledgehammer, I don't
Oh,
believe
that's-
normal people carry a sledgehammer around in their vehicle. And she was also tied up, so he had rope on him or twine or something.
I would think that he knew he was capable of it, and maybe it was something he had been thinking about, and maybe was just waiting for the right moment.
That's fair.
So maybe that he didn't necessarily plan that day, like, oh, I'm going to go drive around. Maybe I'll find a young girl hitchhiking, and then I can cut her, like,
I'm sure
chop
there's
her
a
arms
lot.
off.
There's a lot of hitchhikers.
Or
in
maybe
the
like
70s.
maybe he was just planning on finding a stranger to kidnap to rape and then let go.
And then
But I don't
things
know.
kind of just like
got escalated,
got
and he's
away.
like, well, since I have this stuff,
I don't know. Okay. Why do you think he would leave her without making sure that she was dead? Because I
he
wonder.
chopped her arms off.
Well, yeah. But now I don't know if I would have thought of that if I was in her situation, to like jam your stumps down in mud to stop the bleeding. I probably would have just been a huge bitch and just laid there and died.
I was gonna say I'd probably just lay in the ditch and die. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. But I
If
feel
someone
like
chopped off my arms, it'd be like, just fucking kill me. I don't want to live like this.
she went on to like create her own prosthetics and stuff like that.
She's an inspiration.
So good for her, you know?
I wouldn't get over that. I would cry until I die, and then I'd be like, can I have drugs? Never mind. I'll shut up.
What?
No, I was just gonna say, like, not drugs for fun, drugs to, like, just knock me out and kill me.
Okay.
You know?
Well, those are kind of fun drugs.
Well,
It depends on what you're into. Whatever. But still, I just wonder if he would have been able to get away with it if he had just made sure that she was dead. So, like,
it was the 70s.
it's
It was
kind of
possible that
well-
if he just properly killed her.
yeah, or it's like maybe he assumed that she was going to die and he didn't want to finish her off because it would have been harder on his conscience.
Well, she rolled all the way down that ditch, or he pushed her down there. I don't know. He's probably like, I don't want to go down that ditch.
Maybe it was a complete accident. Like she accidentally rolled down there and he was just like, ah, fuck. So he just got in his van and left.
I'm just guessing that he assumed there's no way she's going to survive. She's going to bleed out. She's not going to get up and flag someone down. Now, I don't know if you came across this in your research, and I could be thinking of something else. But I believe, within like a high chance of being wrong,
I believe that I'm wrong. Continue.
but in this story, I think the couple that was like driving by that picked her up, they were like on their honeymoon or something. They're like, we gotta save this person. They need help.
That's a story.
Right?
Yeah, right?
And I could be lying. I could be thinking of some other case.
You're probably talking shit, but I love the way it sounds.
Right? That's what people like about me. Am I telling you the truth? I really don't even know. But I can deliver it sometimes.
As long as you make it sound believable, you can just get away with saying whatever you want.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially at work. How long should I cook this for? I don't know. I would try this and see if it works. Just take the temperature, and if it's not bleeding, so I think you're okay.
And just keep checking it like every 5 minutes, and then whenever it's done, it's
Sure.
done. What's so hard about that, you dummy?
Just imagine that for like 100 customer questions on like Christmas.
Listen, I don't want to talk about that right now. I don't want to think about it. Kind of just makes me want to just...
Some of us haven't been on vacation.
Okay, that sounds like a you problem, not me.
Some of us have built up anger that I just keep putting off the back of my mind.
It's going to be fine.
Some of us worked with a terrible person for one more week while you were on vacation.
I mean, I had a great week. I don't know what the problem is.
At least I got some new best friends this week.
I don't know what to say about that.
If one of my new best friends knew that we did this, he'd punch us both in the face, I think.
Well, now I don't even know who you're talking about now.
The boss dog.
Oh. Okay.
Be like, you two try and have fun outside of work? Bam.
Just one fist for each of us. We're both just dead.
I would survive. I'm tough.
No, I think you would just
I'm
fucking... you would crumble. I mean, I wouldn't do any better, so that's whatever.
I'd fight back.
Okay. Well, what time are we at?
I don't know. I've just been talking nonsense.
feel like we're probably
one's
about
fine.
the time frame.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't really have anything else, and I'm out of questions.
I see what you meant about the questions.
Do you like that?
I'll try it next time. I can't promise it will be good.
I think it's okay.
I'm just saying for myself.
Okay. I'll keep reminding you, for motivation.
Sure.
I know you need that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
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 That's a proper ending.